Lately, we have been dealing with a ton of bot attacks and bot traffic on our clients' websites. Especially as AI becomes more and more prevalent, websites across the globe are basically finding that more and more of their users are turning out to be bots. The intent of these bots ranges. You've got malicious bots that are trying to hack your website, you've got bots that are just trying to send through spam, and you've got crawlers that are just trying to index the content of your website. Regardless of the intent of the bots, it can cause some problematic consequences. First off, your server can become more unstable, your hosting costs can go up, your site can slow down, and of course, there's always the security risk of getting hacked. Finally, you might just find that your analytics, your traffic is going up, but your conversion rates seem to be going down, and you want to figure out which people are actually people and which are bots so that you know whether you're getting real customers or if you're just getting faked out. So the way that we handle this is by introducing bot blocking on the CDN layer. So a CDN, or a content delivery network, is basically a layer that sits between user requests made to your website and your website server. And that basically tries to queue up content faster and also filter the content that comes through. So a CDN is a really great way to filter things like bot traffic. Now, there's many different ways that we filter bot traffic depending on the specific needs of a website, but let me walk you through 3 just to give you an idea of what's available out there. When a user visits your website, they have an IP address. That IP address is usually associated with a country or a geographic region. Sometimes you can get as granular as like city specific. And we can use that IP to try to determine what country the user is coming from. And if you're a US-based business and you just serve users in the US or just the US and Canada or something like that, we could always just block countries that are problematic. For instance, if you're getting a ton of requests from India or Russia that tend to be malicious or spam, you might say, well, I don't really need the audience from that region, so I'm just going to block that entirely. We'll also, in a lot of cases, issue managed challenges to different countries. So if you have a country that you do want to access your site, but you're having more problems with bots than usual from that country, you could always just add a managed challenge, which is just a little verification puzzle that the user has to do to enter the website. Usually humans are able to figure those out, but bots aren't, so that can stop a lot of the chaos. Of course, people can always use a VPN to spoof their location, but geographical blocking can majorly cut down on bot requests. Secondly, we do rate limiting. Humans can only click so fast, they can only fill out forms and submit them so fast. And a lot of times, bots are going to be submitting things really quickly. They're going to be snapping through pages. They're going to be submitting form entries really rapidly, trying to maybe spam you really fast, or they're maybe trying to use a brute force attack or an SQL injection or something like that. And as a result, we can just set a limit for how fast we actually allow the rate of those users to come through. So we'll only allow a certain amount of requests per number of seconds, for instance. So rate limiting is a really effective way to just say, hey, we'll take this many requests per second, and that tends to cut down on bot traffic and also just a lot of the risks associated with brute force submissions. Third is behavior-based detection. So when humans browse web pages, they tend to be very organic in their behavior. They scroll, they meander through pages, they click and scroll through some sections faster than others, they move their mouse around. And so what we'll do is on the CDN layer, we will look at these patterns over time and flag traffic that doesn't behave like a real person. Bots tend to have pretty clean, repetitive requests, at least for now, until AI figures out how to emulate user behavior a little bit better. For now, we're able to tell to an extent whether a traffic pattern seems to be human or seems to be robotic in nature.